The Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time.
The United States is about to go on war with many countries at the same time, but many in Washington believe their biggest enemy is China. Now they're building forces in the international water in the Caribbean to attack Venezuela. They started by accusing Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, of rigging the election. They say they don't recognize him as Venezuela's president. They accused him of being the head of a cartel and doubled the bounty on his head from $25 million to $50 million. And they dispatch ships and destroyers in the international water, attack at least 3 boats. They killed a dozen of Venezuelans, accused them of smuggling drug in the United States. But they're waiting, gathering intel and waiting for a so-called opposition to attack because it's very hard to invade Venezuela. If Panama required almost 30,000 troops, it's very silly to invade Venezuela. But we need to know that this is not the only front. The United States will go to war with Iran as soon as Israel attack. And it's not going to be like last time during the 12 days war. It's going to be an atrocious one. And they know very well. That's why I say during the meeting in Quantico, Virginia, when Donald Trump addressing the generals, he said, I told Pete, I'm quoting, I told Pete, why don't we use those dangerous cities, LA, Chicago, New York, to train as training grounds for our troops. And many out there are speculating he's talking to Democrats or illegal immigrants. I don't think so. I think the United States knows very well this time, if they go to war, they need to send boots on the ground. And if they do so, many American soldiers, they will come back home in body bags. And this will spark protest and unrest in the United States. That's why they're preparing troops in the cities like ICE and others to wait for those moments, because they cannot say no to Israel and they have to go to this war with Iran. But despite all this, I think many believe their biggest enemy is still China. The United States couldn't make China invade Taiwan. What we see in the news in Western countries, China will invade Taiwan. It's not true. China is not going to invade Taiwan at all. The United States really would love to see China invading Taiwan, and Chinese are very smart, are not doing it. So the United States in the past tried with Xinjiang and accusing China of persecuting Muslims, which is not true. And the United States cannot even say it because we know what the United States did to Muslims around the world, from Syria, Somalia, Iraq, all over the world. So the United States cannot accuse China of human rights abuse or Muslims or anything. They can advocate for any Muslim or human being around the world. And China is not taking the bite at all, invading Taiwan. And the United States knows very well how powerful China is. And in fact, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, he admitted himself.
China's Navy is astronomically bigger than what we have now.
In the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. So if our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe, and yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, what does that look like?
China is so powerful, and we saw it last time during the Beijing parade. So they cannot attack China, but what they want is to weaken China. So by attacking Venezuela, not only they're going to fight Venezuela because of its oil, gas, and gold, and also Iran, but they want to balkanize those two countries, and both Venezuela and Iran are very close to China. So they can weaken China because China is very close to Venezuela. China has lent almost $60 billion to Venezuela. That's in the last 2 decades. and Iran is trading with China. Both are selling most of their oil to China, and also the Belt and Road is going straight through Iran. Iran is sitting in the middle of Idayulu, the Belt and Road. So if they can weaken those two countries, make them failed states, balkanize them, is going to be very bad for China. Also, Russia. We saw what Trump is when Trump is saying he is giving a go-ahead for a European to shoot down Russian jets, and recently he even said that he's going to deliver Tomahawk to European. So this is to keep Russia busy when they attack Iran too. And if they can replace, it's very hard, but if they can replace Putin, bring a puppet, this is going to be very bad for China, because Russia and China are very close now. They started trading with their currency 15 years ago. In 2010, they started using yuan and ruble to trade, and gold too. So it's going to be very bad for China. So for those who are in Washington deciding for the United States, the best way to attack China is by fighting those countries close to China, so that China can weaken, and maybe in the near future they can start a war with China too. That's their goal.